Welcome. Thank you, Laura, for starting the recording. And Tim, do you want to share your story first? Or you want me to share my story first?
I'm easy. Whatever works best for you.
You go ahead first, and then I'll share, because I've got really two things to share.
Well, so I'm going to go ahead and share my personal experience, and then I'm going to do a little confession with
But don't
Alex.
tell them exactly what it is yet.
Okay, so one of the things that I have kind of specialized in for a lot of years in my practice, and one of the maladies that we have treated a lot of is migraine headaches. And I was just talking to our expert tonight about migraine headaches, not from a doctor's perspective, but from a patient's perspective, because before I was a migraine doctor, I was a migraine patient. And the worst cluster I ever had, I had 25 in 32 days. And the average duration was about 12, 15 hours. So I was so miserable. And I walked into my supervisor's office and we were picking what was our senior thesis going to be on. He said, "What human miserable condition would you like to know the answer to?" And I was sick as a dog. I was wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap to hide my eyes from the light. And I'm sitting there sick in his office. And I said, "Sir, I would love to know the solution to migraine headaches." And he goes, "Great, that's your thesis." And I said, No. I need something that I can come up with the answer to. And he goes, "I got faith in you. Get out of my office." And so the 6 months that followed that were pretty tragic. But I failed 17 or 18 times probably to be successful at the 11th hour. That's the way it works out. You always turn the term paper in with wet ink. And that's exactly what I did. So, Alex, we've talked about this in life, and you guys who are on tonight with us, everybody's probably had a certain scenario in their life where you think the worst thing that's ever happened to me is this, and this, only to find out later on that there's some blessing that comes from the worst thing that ever happened to you. And I'm positive as I sit here in front of you guys tonight, there is no way on God's green earth that I would have become a headache doctor if I would not have become a headache patient. And so as a man in his mid-50s, I'm blessed to say that really my only adult health problem is headaches. And I've been, I average about 2 to 3 migraines a year. And remember, I started out having 25 in 32 days. And if Alex wouldn't stress me out as much as he does, I probably wouldn't have the 2. I'm kidding, Alex. I wouldn't have the 2 or 3 that I have now. But my job,
my wife.
Yeah, well, my job and my hours and my input, it probably trigger a little bit of that, and I'm okay with that. 2 or 3 headaches a year is survivable. Now, what I've been doing for those headaches for lots of years has recently changed. And Alex, when we started working together on this project, you brought something to me that has changed. It's been a blessing to me. I have found a way to not only help everybody else, but to actually help myself. So now my frequency, my intensity, and my duration of headaches, and we'll share exactly this with our expert a little later, is way less than it used to. And I probably can de-trigger 7 of 8 headaches now and have had 1 migraine in 2023. So much, 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 much better than before. And so not only are we able to help other people with this, but for the first time in my professional career, I can help myself. And so what a blessing. So we'll get into the specifics of that. But now, as my confession, I was really, and we'll tell you guys exactly what this protocol is in a little bit. I'm not conservative in what I'll use in my practice. I'm hyper conservative. And so I resisted using this product line because I had some misnomers about it and some misconceptions about it. And I've gotten all cleared up on that. And brother, I want to thank you again. You've been a blessing to me in a lot of ways. But this is like, Alex, the only thing I struggled with personally, I now have a really good solution for, and you and our expert tonight have a lot to do with that. So I'll say thank you, and then I'll shift it back to you and let you tell your story.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. when Tim told me, I think it was about a month ago, and I introduced him to this, and he got a migraine.
Hmm.
And I think I talked to him the next day, and he told me what had happened, that he had used this, and in about 45 minutes, it was way better. I don't remember if you said it was gone, but it was way better in like 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And you were sort of shocked by that.
Well,
Right?
honestly, Alex, honestly, I thought, okay, well, maybe I did have a migraine. Maybe I just had like a little, the beginnings of one. Couldn't have been, couldn't possibly
Right.
have been, right?
Right. So anyway, I'm a prove it to me guy. Okay. And some of you are that way too. You know, you hear something, but it's okay. Yeah, that sounds good. But I've heard things like that before. Prove it to me. So when Tim told me that, it's like, oh my goodness, is that really possible? And then my mind started going. So, and of course, my mind tends to go to mental and emotional. All right. So I introduced some of my clients to what we're going to share with you tonight. And they didn't have a migraine. They had like anger, or they had depression, or they had a feeling of very low self-worth, and did not think much of themselves, and were afraid of other people and afraid of social situations and stuff like that. And this was just totally on a wild hair for me after I heard what happened to Tim. So with these clients of mine, and I thought there was probably about a 20% chance that anything would come of this, but I had them do it in a certain location based on their negative mental emotional issue. And I think it was 7 out of 8 of those clients of mine that I did this with had the negative emotion go down significantly. And our guest tonight, who owns this product and created it and all kinds of stuff like that, I'm not sure if he's even tried it for any of these purposes. I'm sure he would say, probably for legal reasons, oh, we don't say it works for that. But I'm telling you, the science is pretty much the same as the headache thing. And that's what gave me the idea. So that's 7 out of 8. Now, the second one, that's the first one. The second one is this morning, the day of this call, I woke up with a headache, and I haven't had a headache in months. I don't get headaches. Okay. But today, and I think maybe God had something to do with it.
Maybe I was stressing you out, getting you back. What do you think?
Yeah, you were. Yeah. But I woke up with a headache. So immediately I thought, wait a minute. Instead of taking Tylenol or even Indian frankincense, which is what I normally take, I'm going to try what Tim did. And ladies and gentlemen, my wife is the witness of this, because we were sitting having coffee together. She witnessed the whole thing. In 45 minutes, my headache was gone. No Tylenol, no Indian frankincense, no nothing. Okay. And I believe this is the best thing I've ever found topically for aches, pains, headaches, and possibly even negative emotional states. And I'm not saying on the negative emotional states, it obviously probably hadn't been tested for that. So what I'm saying tonight is try it. And a little bit later, I'm going to tell you exactly how to try it for negative emotional states, as well as physical health problems. I'm going to show you that in just like the next 20 or 30 minutes. So please don't go anywhere. All right. Because I'm going to share that with you. Tim, anything else you want to say before we bring out our guest?
Yeah, I want to give away the self-treatment for headaches before we're done tonight. I can do that at the end or whenever you want me to.
Well, let's introduce our guest. Sure. But before we introduce our guest, I've got one other thing. Okay. What we're talking about tonight is an incredible pain relieving topical treatment. Okay. Now, I've got to tell you this. Okay. If I'm not going to tell you the truth, I should not be doing this. Okay. So, as much as I don't want to tell you what I'm about to tell you, I have to tell you, or I shouldn't be on this call. All right. So, here's what I'm going to tell you. About 6 years ago, I believed I needed for my clients a topical pain reliever that was way better than anything else I could find, because I'd tried probably 30 of the things that are available out there, and none of them worked very well for me or other people that I had tried them. So I wasn't going to recommend something that didn't work well. So I manufactured it myself in Colorado. Okay. And this is it. This is it. I don't know if you can see this well or not, but you see my name on there, Dr. Alex. Okay. This is my pain relieving topical treatment. All right. And I manufacture this and have for the last 6 years in Colorado. And it is the best pain relieving topical treatment I have ever found or seen. And my clients tell me the same thing until now. All right. So you see my creation here that I manufactured and spent a long time perfecting and putting a lot of sweat equity into and all that. You see it? Here's what's happening to this now. It's gone. It's gone. I'm not selling it anymore. Okay. Now, why in the world would I do that when obviously my profit margin on my own product is way higher, right? Okay, that only makes sense, because this new thing destroys mine as good as it was. It destroys mine as far as effectiveness, okay? So now I'm going to bring out our guest and let me...
So Alex, I threw mine away too, but I didn't formulate it and it wasn't very profitable, but I sure changed. And it makes me feel better that you struggled more than I did.
Okay, Laura, I've got a problem. I blacked out Justin's video and I'm not sure how to get him back. Do you know how to do that?
He just have to turn on the camera.
There he is. There he is.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Welcome, Justin.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Justin Finneman. And he is one of the owners. He may be the owner. He is one of the scientists and formulators of what we're talking about tonight. So, Justin, welcome.
Hey, you guys. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited.
Well, we're going to have to do a little spin on this, Alex. We're going to say this is just incredible.
Just
okay.
And just to start off with telling everybody the name of the company and the name of the product.
Yeah, absolutely. So the name of our company is Curable Premium Health. Okay. And the line that I'm specifically here to talk about tonight is our clinical strength line of topicals that is only available through healthcare providers across the United States. You cannot find it anywhere else but through a healthcare provider, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Okay. And Justin, what's the active ingredient in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a hemp-derived product that is basically 3,000 milligrams of CBD isolate, and it's used in combination with some powerful analgesics like menthol and camphor, arnica, and then a full blend of essential oils as well.
So Justin, we're going to work you to death tonight. Before we ask you all these crazy questions, I just have to say, I resisted CBD. I may be accused of being high on Jesus, but I have never been high in my life on marijuana. I've never smoked marijuana. Only thing I've ever smoked in my life were the tires on a 79 Camaro. And that's when my father was paying for them. So I was the last guy in the population who thought I was just clearly anti CBD. So I want you to tell people a little later on about the difference between CBD and THC and some of the other things in the same family. And I want people who are as resistant and hyper conservative as I am to feel good about what we're talking about. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but tell us about the CBD.
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason we think we've had success is we're just different in regards to the approach we take in how we bring this product forward to the masses. Okay. So when I say that, what I mean is we say we are a true seed to table CBD company. Okay. And what that means is that we literally grow our own seed. We plant that seed into the ground. We harvest that seed. And then we take it through an entire process that is really owned and operated by us 100%. So we have hired our own chemist from the company Medtronic, and he runs the day-to-day operations with one of the other owners in regards to literally pulling the hemp off the field, drying it, freezing it, and then starting the internal process in how we break that product down into what goes into our retail products, into the doctor's offices for everybody to use.
So Alex, I kind of like while we have Justin here to get into the nuts and bolts of this. And so Justin, would you tell everybody essentially about what a cannabinoid is and the different cousins in the cannabinoid family and that type thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So a cannabinoid is just a molecule. Okay, it's a fancy name for a molecule that is present within the hemp plant. Okay, so there are over 100 different molecules or cannabinoids that are present within the plant. A hemp plant is extremely high in the molecule cannabidiol or CBD. It is very low in percentages of especially THC and all of the other cannabinoids. Okay, so it's just a molecule that is present that is really prevalent in the hemp plant that we have figured out how to isolate in a specific way to create these higher concentrations of CBD that go into our products.
So clearly cannabinoids and cannabis are quite different.
Well, so let me break it down like this. So where everybody goes wrong is that the cannabis plant family actually produces a hemp plant, but it can also produce a marijuana plant. So everything we do is again derived from hemp. So that's the big thing to focus on, is that we're not getting our products from marijuana plants, we're getting them from hemp derived plants. So even though there's a small amount of THC that can be present in a hemp plant, everything that goes into our topicals is through a process of where we isolate the CBD completely away from all of the other cannabinoids to make sure that our doctors don't have to worry about any THC being present within the product.
And this is a big thing with pro athletes and with people who have licenses, like even like drivers and pilots. And nobody has a sense of humor with THC who's drug testing. So real big deal to our practitioners who are treating pro athletes. You've got to make sure that you're not the reason that they have a positive. And we have some confidence in this product because it's THC free. Alex, I don't want to hog Justin's time. You jump in here.
Yeah. Justin, can you share what is CBG? Everyone's heard of CBD. What is CBG, as in George, my youngest son?
Yeah, I tell you what, thank you, Alex. That's Dr. Alex, that's an awesome question. So my wife loves this. We have 5 kids. She loves this because it's referred to as the mother cannabinoid. Okay. And the reason and in another world of regenerative medicine, they refer to it as the stem cell cannabinoid.
Okay.
The reason for that is it has the ability to usually start off in the plant life very early as CBG. Okay, so the plant life begins very young, and the first molecule that really breaks down into other molecules is actually CBG. So that's why they say it gives life to all of the other cannabinoids.
Okay.
CBG is non-psychoactive, like CBD is. It will not get you high, but it has some different cognitive benefits and other things that physicians are starting to study in comparison to CBD. So there are benefits on both sides of the fence, but what makes us unique at Curable is most people don't have the luxury of getting the molecule CBG early on in the plant life because they don't own the processing facility and the equipment to actually get the extraction done in the right amount of time to create these CBG products, because it can become very expensive. So that's what's unique.
Is that why your stuff is just so much more effective than everything else?
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it this way, Doc. There, we are processing an enormous amount of hemp for farmers across the entire country because it takes a huge investment in order to own your own equipment, to have the chemist and the facility to do this. So we can essentially get better concentrations with seeds that we know we're personally growing and harvesting. And it gives us the opportunity to control the cost at the same time because we don't have to pay a middle person to ship that hemp to have it be processed.
So Justin, I'm going to go ahead and admit my ignorance and just be transparent. I know not nearly about CBD what you do, but there's more to it than CBD. I know that I've added menthol and I've added camphor on top of your CBD cream, trying to make it better. And you guys, I found out, don't need my help. I haven't made it a bit better. So you've got some formulation there that has been perfected with the delivery. Tell us about how the camphor, menthol, arnica are adjunctive to transdermal absorption.
Yeah, great. That's such a good question. So we really believe, especially the menthol, is really a delivery system, right? So we feel like we have the right formulation, the quantities of menthol and camphor, and then the support of the arnica for pain relief and inflammation as well, and then the essential oils. All of that together in combination with the 3,000 milligrams of CBD is what really makes this special.
It is so special. And I have to tell you, Alex, it hurt my feelings because I can usually play a chemist in the back room and tweak and make, and I could not make Justin's product any better. And I tried really hard.
Well, I'll tell you this, I was more than that because I manufactured mine, and I think I was taking some pride that I shouldn't have taken in manufacturing what I thought was the best topical pain reliever there was. And let me tell you this too, ladies and gentlemen, as you see this, okay, mine cost $110, okay, and it's 2 ounces. Now that 2 ounces, it'll go a long way, all right? It'll go a long way, but it's 2 ounces. And
it went a long way across the room just a minute ago.
It did. And here's the other thing. This 2 ounces, it cost me over $50 to make it. All right. I manufacture it. It costs me over $50. Then I have to retail it to make some profit. I've got expenses related to that as well. Okay. But here's the crazy thing. Justin, I was a little offended by it at first that it worked so much better than mine, okay, because I knew mine was so good. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the truth. Here's 2 versions of what we're talking about. One is a roll-on, one is a cream. And basically, we are selling this, Tim and I, for the same price that it cost me to produce this. Okay, the cost of these for us is $55. I mean, that's what we're selling it for retail. And guess what? Both of these are 3 ounces minus 2 ounces. So these are 50% more quantity than mine is. Plus, they're significantly better quality than mine is. And I have no idea how they did that because it took me so long to do mine. And I thought it was the very best. And that's what everybody told me that tried it. It's the best I've ever tried, but it's not even close to this. And if you're watching this, try to be logical. Okay. Try to be logical. Okay. Maybe you're sitting out there saying, oh, they're just trying to sell us a product, but why in the world would I eliminate my own product for someone else's product? Why would I do that?
Hey,
Why
Alex,
would I do that?
when I use this with headache patients, I get killed because you know how much less often they see me when they start doing this.
Yeah, right, right.
So
Yeah.
Justin, thanks a lot.
So, Justin, you used the word cognitive a minute ago. Have you ever heard of people saying my negative emotions and my thinking got better when I was using this?
You know, the biggest thing that we hear consistently on the topical side is really that actually surprised me is A, for what you guys are talking about in regards to headaches, and then B, how much it's improved people's sleep. And so it's correlated, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we can sleep better, we're going to feel better. Most of us.
Mhm.
So that's where the correlation has been in regards to some of that. And I want to say this really quick, please. The reason that I was willing to take this opportunity here, and trust me, my wife was like, "What are we doing here? You know, we've been in medical device sales and regenerative medicine, and we're going to go now bring hemp-derived products all over the country to doctors." And I said, "Look, what matters to me is that the independent practice owner, the man or woman that has suffered and struggled and fights to heal people, they are the healers of our world. They have to run these practices, they have to treat patients, they have to run a business, and it's very difficult." So I said, the best way we can support them and support their patients is to find the best, absolutely 100% high quality product and make it affordable to patients so that they can actually see the benefits. That would benefit the doctor and it would benefit the patient. And I'm so proud of that. I'm proud of the price point that we brought forward because we decided to say this isn't just about money. This is about how we help people and how we make it affordable. And I'm really, really proud of that. So I just wanted to touch on that. But yes, from a cognitive support and managing people's emotions and some of the ailments, anytime, and I think you guys are the expert here, not me, but anytime we can reduce somebody's pain and help them sleep better, it's going to improve a whole lot of things in regards to their quality of life.
So Alex, have we got our contract with Justin signed? Because Justin, I'll tell you this, because we've already got that ink, I'll reveal this to you. If it costs 3 times as much, I would buy it. And when I'm in the middle of a migraine, you might could mark it up twice as high as that. And I'm easy to negotiate with when I'm on the floor worshiping the porcelain god and I am on my knees, sick as a dog. I'd pay a lot. I'd pay a whole lot to get that pain to go away in 30 or 40 minutes. So, man, I think it's a phenomenal product. I can't believe if you told me a year ago I'd be on a podcast giving my blessings to a CBD product, I'd say you're probably smoking its cousin plant. There is no way on God's green earth that I'm going to put my name on that. But I think it's phenomenal. And I would, Laura, do you have the little picture I sent you today? Would you pop that up there? Justin, in my office, we have those little ketchup packets. And so my first order, and I had probably, was this 3, 6, 9, 12, whatever. I had like 3 or 4 times this in different places in the clinic. These are my last 2. And so I thought I got a month's supply. It looks like I got a week and a half supply. So my assistant, I think, made an order with you today. We had people coming back in and getting some of this for their family because they had such a benefit. That's how phenomenal this is. I don't even have a conversation. This is walking out of my office. I just said it there. And so I don't have time to have the conversation. We just put a little spot of this on people where they hurt and they make their own decision and get it themselves. Isn't that cool?
It is. Laura, take that down a second and let me show this. And then Laura, after I show this, please bring up our curable page. And I'm going to ask Justin to describe the 2 products. But I wanted to tell you, just sort of nutshell it before you bring that up. So this is $110 retail. cost me about 50. This cost you 55 retail from us. It has 50% more product in it than this and works way better. Okay. So, Laura, if you'll please bring up our curable page, and Justin, if you'll describe these two products to our people here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Dr. Alex. So basically, these are the two most popular products out of all of our topicals. And the muscle cream is the flagship product, right? It's the best seller that we have. It really absorbs well. It's got a great consistency. It's got, basically everything you could ever want in a topical combined in one. Okay. The roll-on is the exact same formulation. All right. But some people, whether they be athletes or some people going to work, whatever it is, they don't always want to touch the cream. So the roll-on is fantastic if you just want to quick over an elbow, a shoulder, a knee. It's just a little bit more efficient way to put it on. For some reason, my wife at night, I use this stuff literally myself every morning and every night. I've got severe foraminal or lumbar stenosis, foraminal stenosis. I use it every single morning, every evening. For some reason, she says, look, you put on the clear roll-on. I just think it's easier to assimilate before we go to sleep at night. But besides that, they're the exact same formula. They each have 3,000 milligrams of CBD. We've heard a lot from golfers. They love going golfing with this product. They put it in their bag, the roll-on. But again, we sell probably more muscle cream for sure, just because people absolutely love the consistency of the cream and the effectiveness, but they've both been great products for us.
A little secret, Justin, chiropractors in the hallway between patients can roll the roll-on under the base of their skull between patients. So that's just a little, another little benefit.
I love it.
Okay, Laura, can you take that down, please? And Tim, why don't you describe what you did with this for your headaches? And then I'm going to bring up my chart of how to use this for other aches and pains, and also to try it for negative emotions and negative thoughts.
I'd be happy to, Alex. And I'm always complicated, so I never have a simple answer to any question. Justin, please interrupt me or add or take away anything I say here, as you know so much about the product. But so in my practice, the very first conversation I have with a migraine patient is, number one, are you light sensitive? If you're light sensitive, in kinesiology, and that's really the basis of everything that I do, in kinesiology, the upper trapezius muscle is on the same circuit as the eye and the ear. And so when I have people who are light sensitive with headaches, then I will focus on the trapezius muscle. Some migraines are not light sensitive. They do not have an element of vertigo, or they don't feel like their balance is off. They're nauseous. And so I'm not going to be able to reach this one, but I'll grab my readers here and use them as a pointer. So in between your shoulder blade and spine is the neck extensor muscles. The neck extensor muscles in kinesiology are related to the stomach. So if we have severe nausea, we're inclusive of the neck extensor muscle. So here's how it works. Let's say, God forbid, I have a brutal left-sided headache. Let's say I am very light sensitive right now. I want to be in a dark room. I can't take it. So I would take the CBD 3,000 milligrams. I would palpate my upper trap muscle, and we find the big golf ball in there. And I imagine that's what you did, Alex, this morning. And I would take the big golf ball. I'd get 2 fingertips full of the CBD cream and rub it in to the spasmodic. And Justin, here's a question for you. Is this completely anti-inflammatory, anti-spasmodic, or both?
That's a great question. That's the real answer to that question is, I think, how CBD interacts deeper with the endocannabinoid system, and all of the different ways that they are studying the ECS, or endocannabinoid system, and how it relates to the nervous system, the immune system, and all of those different things. So my answer, but my non-medically backed credentials would say the answer to your question is probably yes, if you talk to a lot of physicians. But it has something to do with, again, how it actually interacts with that system as a whole.
So I would tell you, based on the procedure I do, because I do very deep trigger points before I manipulate the shoulder blades and the cervical spine to relieve headaches. But it's got to be more than antispasmodic and more than just one or the other, because it works so quick. And then the duration that it lasts is longer. So if I have a left-sided headache, I will use it. We're freezing on the screen here. Let me let it catch up. I would use it on the trap muscle and the base of the skull, where the trap muscle attaches up at the base of the hairline here. So I put it there, usually with the roll-on, and then I'll grab a little of the cream and I put it here. So Alex, people say, well, you got both of them? I got 6 of them because I have them at home, I have them in my car, and I have them at work, because I am not going to have a headache and we're through negotiating. So, and I've already got my contract price with Justin, so I don't have to pay triple the price, but I would if I had to, because I hate headaches. Now, here's the kicker. If I'm light sensitive, I just do the trap and the base of the skull. But if I'm nauseous, I will do the base of the skull in addition to, in that space between the shoulder blade and the spine, on the side of the headache. So if I have a left-sided headache, I do it on the left side. If I have a right-sided headache, I'll do those points on the right side. If it's diffuse and I can't tell, we have a CBD party, and I do it all, because I am going to do everything I can do not to have one of those headaches. And while we're talking about that, Justin, would you talk about the amounts that are safe to use and the dosage?
Yeah, so, when you break this down, most scientists or physicians studied CBD or cannabidiol. They will talk about how one of the benefits to using that cannabinoid is that it takes an extremely high amount of it to create any kind of issue long-term. Okay, so when they're talking about, sometimes people will throw things around like liver toxicity in regards to CBD. Any liver toxicity was found usually in patients that already had higher liver elevated enzymes. Okay, number one. And then they found they were using like extremely high concentrations of mostly ingestibles, so like a tincture or a gummy of some sort, and they were using like almost 7 to 10 times higher than the regular dose in what you would want to administer to somebody on a regular basis. So it's very difficult topically.
So transdermal and topically, we're pretty safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and here I'll make one comment on that. When you use the camphor menthol, especially if you experiment and try to add menthol to it because you think you're smarter than Justin, which didn't work for me. I put so much on the base of my skull, I think I vasodilated one time. And I had a little lightheadedness for 20 or 30 minutes, but I only did that once. And then I just decided Justin didn't need my help, and I was just going to use his formula without adding the menthol to it. So really, really great product. I salute you. It's fantastic. Now, let's see, Alex, I had one more thing I wanted to ask. Oh, please, let me share one more thing. I'll shut up and turn it over to you guys. So I want to talk real briefly, and we'll talk fast to communicate this. So there's something called the blood-brain barrier. And if I took a pill and I swallowed it, I've got to let it go through my stomach, my colon, into my bloodstream, and then I got to hope and pray it will cross my blood-brain barrier. And so one of the things, if you guys watch all these cool crime shows, and I'm not advocating this, but when you see people do cocaine, there's a pretty instant response, and all of a sudden they're superhuman. Now, that being said, let's please don't do that. But if you put your CBD on, and after it's on, you open the top and put it underneath your nose, and you will smell the camphor, the menthol, the CBD, whatever other secret ingredients Justin's got in there, that crosses, there's no roadblock between the olfactory lobe. Your nose goes right into the middle of your brain. And so the olfactory bulb is in the middle of the hypothalamic region of the brain. We're getting that HPA axis fired immediately. And so I put it on, and then I smell it. I have everybody else do a little huffing on CBD for at least 60 seconds. I think that tells your brain the cavalry's coming, and then the transdermal response is heightened. Justin, can you comment on that at all? Or does that sound like the craziest thing you've ever heard?
I think that sounds like one of the coolest things I've ever heard. That to me makes incredible amount of sense. And
it skips the blood-brain barrier and goes straight to the midbrain.
That's a really cool way to describe that. And in fact, one of the things we need to do yet, and this is where we have work to do, and it's not all of our fault. It's just, the reality is that we have certain rules that we have to follow. But as the more we continue to clinically validate things and study things like that more in detail, that this is going to be game over. Because I would be willing to bet your knowledge there is much more vast than mine is in regards to the blood-brain barrier and how that all works. But when I connect the dots and how I've had it explained to me from our chemist, what you just explained sounds exactly right on.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we all need to get locked in an elevator for 6 hours, and then we'll reconvene and see if we can't share some things with the crowd. But Alex, I'm through. Go ahead.
Okay, Justin, we're got a time crunch going, so these need to be short answers, and then I'm going to bring up a chart and talk about it a second. So question, Justin. Are you or are you not selling this to Tim and I cheaper than you sell it to other people?
No.
Not? Oh, I thought you were. I thought we were getting a special deal.
Oh, I thought you meant in general to the public in general.
No,
yes.
no, to us.
Oh, correct. Yes.
Okay. They are selling this to Tim and I cheaper than they are to other professionals. And this is only available to professionals, correct?
Correct.
And because they're selling it to us cheaper, we're giving it to you cheaper. Okay. Now, Laura, if you would bring up the acupuncture chart, please, real quick. Well, I don't mean you real quick. Just we'll look at it. Okay. All right. So here's what I would recommend. Now, Justin, you're probably sitting there going, what in the world did I get myself into here? Because Tim just said off the reservation, but he was nowhere close to off the reservation. This is off the reservation.
Justin, I'm the orthodox guy, so this is where it gets, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but this is what I did with my clients. Okay, so you have the location of the spots on the left, and these are the acupuncture kinesiology control alarm points for the major meridians. All right. And here's what I would say. You either put the cream on the control spot, as you see in the picture next to the location, or you put it as close to the pain as you can get it and on the acupuncture spot. All right. But if you see on the releases, those are the emotional issues. So for the governing vessel and bladder on the top of the head, the emotional thing is an inner critic, a lack of focus, kind of hamster wheel thinking. So if that's what you struggle with, yes, I would put a little dab of this right on the top of your head in your hair. Okay, just a little bit. All right, and a little bit of this goes a long way. On the eyebrow point, which is bladder and stomach, if you have trauma, or if you feel hurt or sad or restless, impatient, frustrated, etc., you would put a little bit right between the eyes, just a little dab, and then slow, deep breaths. I would do 6, 9, 12 breathing. Breathe in for 6 seconds, hold it for 9 seconds, breathe out for 12 seconds. That activates your parasympathetic nervous system, that's your anti-stress system, and then put a little dab right here. All right. If it's rage, anger, resentment, fear of change, muddled thinking, the side of the eye. If it's fear, anxiety, worry, it's right under the eyes, just a tiny little dab. The menthol is going to keep you from putting a lot anyway, at least the second time if you do it the first time. So just a tiny little dab, that's all you need. This will last for months doing this, okay? So, Laura, is that, scroll up so they can see the whole chart. And then here are also, these are the control alarm points for your lung, large intestine, kidney, triple heater, small intestine. And I would just Google, okay, what is circulation sex related to? What are the other things that it's related to? The large intestine and kidney, obviously kidney and large intestine, but what are the emotions and other things related to that? All right, put a little dab on that side of your finger and do the breathing. And my guess is in about 5 minutes, that emotion is going to start feeling better. Now, I'm not saying it's tested for that. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm saying try it. That's what happened with my clients and with me. Okay, not only for the headache, but for emotions. And I know Justin is thinking legal disclaimer here. I'm not saying it'll work for that. I'm saying try it. Okay, so you can take that down, Laura.
But Alex, you treat these points for emotional stuff all the time. So this would just be another therapy for that, right?
Yeah, that's right. You can also tap on that point and it'll give you some relief. But I'm telling you what, tap on it a little bit and then put a dab of this under it. And I think you're going to see 2 or 3 times the benefit. And you should start feeling some relief in about 5 minutes. And I shared this with Tim today, and he said, what was it he said? What was it you said? It was funny. I can't remember. I'll remember it in a second. But anyway, Justin, anything you want to comment about that before we open it up, see if we have any questions?
I think it would be, I would do you an injustice if I tried to go into that further, but I will say this.
Justin, welcome to my world. He does this to me all the time. So it's okay.
But that's the best part about this. I look at our product as an adjunct, meaning an adjunct to the expert provider care that's delivering it. And that's where everybody has their gift as a provider. They have their different unique approach. And that's where I think we get into a trouble with medicine, is when we put providers in a box or we put different modalities in a box that could help people. And that's why I just think people need to listen to what you're saying, Dr. Alex, after all the years you serve people and help people. And I would say that you make complete sense. So I'm just not going to try to expand on your knowledge there.
Oh, I remember what Tim said. He said there's nothing to lose, because if it doesn't work on the emotion, it's still going to work on the aches and pains.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay. So if you have a question, you can type it in under the Q&A tab. And Laura, if you
we might need you on this one, because Alex and I may not know the answer.
And Laura, if you would put up the link where people can see it if they want to get more information or order this. Again, the thing that I've been selling for 6 years, this is half the price, 50% more product, and will last probably for months. I mean, mine will last for months, and this is 50% more product. And by the way, Justin, I really like the roll-on, but I like the cream better. So I'm with your wife. But I would try both of them. The roll-on, you're right. The roll-on is so handy to
I'm indecisive. I like them both.
Anywhere. Yeah. And when Tim described it, he really described both, using a little bit of the roll-on and a little bit of the cream.
Yeah.
All right. We got a question. Is CBD oil good for eczema on the scalp? Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, right. Justin, you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yep.
And we have another question, Justin. Are there any skin sensitivities to the curable product?
Fantastic question.
Really
So-
good question.
Yeah, I've been doing this. I'm going to give you a real life answer here. I've been doing this for 18 months. And I'm not going to name his name, but he's a great physician. He's a primary care doctor here in Minnesota. He called me and said, I've got my daughter here who's going to be 17 in a couple days, and she's a Division I gymnast, and her skin doesn't like your CBD product. And she had no idea, but she was actually allergic to hemp. So, so that's where there's nothing I can say or do to make this 100% presentable to every single individual. But we sell a lot of product, and that is one call so far I've gotten from somebody who said this has really caused the skin irritation. So outside of that, you got to know your own body, you got to take responsibility, but we have not had a lot of issues at all with skin irritation.
Hey, Alex, let me make a comment on that. Day one, don't do this product to get fixed or to get well. Day one, do this product. When you get it, if you don't have any pain, put a little dab on you, do a test spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone asked, where would you apply this to help with sleep? Justin?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like, if you've got obviously, lumbar pain or neck pain, low back pain, a really arthritic knee, go to the localized area that's bothering you. But going back to Dr. Adar, what he was talking about, that's where I've had people really talk about the benefits for sleep, is applying it up in those areas in the trapezius, around the cervical spine area, and really noticing some just calming benefits along with the reduction of pain and inflammation. So I think—
Hey, Justin, let me jump in here with you. You are so on, but here's why. So your pineal gland that's at the base of your skull—
I was going to say pineal.
produces melatonin. So you have to vasodilate to increase the circulation to your pineal gland to produce that. So suboccipital base of the skull gets increased blood flow to the thing that makes your melatonin. Now, Alex, you'll like this one because this is as out there as you are. So if you go to bed between 11 and 1, that's the gallbladder meridian. Okay. So Alex just threw a chart up there that had a gallbladder point on there. If it's between 1 and 3, that's the liver meridian. And so that's on the inside of the right knee or on the corner of the eye on the right side. And so sometimes if you time it to the alarm point, if you go to bed after that, shame on you.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Tim. As well as that liver point, I would do a little dab at the base of the skull to try to get the pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. That's all the written questions we have. If anyone wants to—
Are you sure?
Verbal, I think so. If anyone wants to ask a verbal question, yeah, that's all the written questions I see. And if you click on the chat, you'll see the link over on the right under the webinar chat, and you can go there for more information or to order.
Okay, so I have a question. I'd love to hear Justin's take on this. Justin, when you apply, what do you guys tell people? It's good for 4 hours, 5 hours. When would you have a thought of scheduled reapplication?
Yeah, I fell into my own personal process here. Like I said, where I woke up in the morning, it was literally, I'm doing it first thing in the morning because I'm stiff with my lower back after I've been sleeping all night. And then I do it before bed. But we have patients and customers that'll do it 2 to 3 times a day, just as needed as things flare up. But my personal feedback that I continuously get myself and then other people, I would say every 4 to 6 hours, this can really be applied. Okay. Some people, it lasts longer. I have people that tell me I put it on in the morning and I don't notice any pain until the evening. But you can really use it up to 2 to 3 times a day.
So that's been my experience too. I do kind of like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And just because in between breakfast and lunch, it's not about me. I don't have an opportunity. And between lunch and dinner, I'm slammed. So I just kind of sneak in when I get a second, and doing it that couple times a day on a bad day for me has been very effective.
Justin, let me ask you a question that probably some people out there are thinking about right now. If they go to your website, the company website, are they going to be able to buy this cheaper than we're selling it for?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
I don't think they can get the 3,000 either.
No,
Yeah,
you can't even order it. You can't
Yeah.
order it.
Point there, we actually do not sell the clinical strength topicals on our website. That's how committed we are to the providers being the ones to dictate this in the hands of the patients.
Right. And another thing about CBD, and I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit about CBD over the last 7 or 8 years. And ladies and gentlemen, CBD, I believe, is a miracle plant made by God. Hemp is a miracle plant made by God, I believe. We have about 350 body systems, okay? About 12 of those are macro, the rest are micro. So you have like your gastrointestinal system, but then you have a whole bunch of micro systems within gastrointestinal. Ladies and gentlemen, CBD is the only thing we know of on planet Earth that has a healing, balancing effect on all 350 at the same time. And internally, it is unbelievably healing. I could tell you stories all day long about people who have healed major issues using CBD. But I also believe topically, it is healthier than almost anything else on planet Earth as well. I don't know why. God is the only one that would know why on that, because I believe he made it. But it is one of the most healing things on planet Earth. You'll see so many veterans talking about how their doctors will prescribe oxy and hydro all day long, and they get addicted to it, and it helps with the pain, but the addiction ends up worse than the pain relief, and they won't prescribe them CBD, which helps as much or more sometimes with the pain relief, but they don't get addicted to anything. Okay.
Alex, you just prolonged this podcast because you triggered me, and so here we are. So I was a team doc for 14 years for a pro sports organization, and I will tell you, my guys were retiring into gut health issues because of all the anti-inflammatories, into addiction issues. And Alex, I referred some of them to you that you helped with addiction. And so this is a much better option. And I will tell you, like with hemp products, not only is there no like opioid constipation and gut derangement, I believe that sometimes some of the hemp products actually help GI problems. And there's all these things in the next 5 years. We're going to laugh when we go back and look at this in 5 years. There's so many cannabinoid pathways that have to do with systemic inflammation. And when you spare the gut distress, not doing pharmaceuticals, but by doing topicals, I think anything that helps the gut helps systemic health. And so anything that we can do to keep from harming the gut is definitely preferred. So that's just another fantastic quality to this product.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, last thing I'm going to say is if you have pain of almost any kind and you don't try this, I hope you're either homeless, and if you are, contact us and we'll do our best to help anyway, or you just think we're not telling the truth. But if you test us to see if we're telling the truth by getting some and trying it, you're going to have your socks knocked off like Tim and I have. So, Justin, last words, and then we're going to say goodnight.
Yeah, geez, what an honor, you guys. Honestly, this has been an incredible discussion. I want to say something really quick. Even what Dr. Adar just brought back up, and you guys would know this as well, from a cellular standpoint, the cells in our bodies that are consistently trying to heal and repair. By most physicians or scientists, they would point to what we refer to as some type of stem cell. And stem cells, they are figuring out more and more that these special cells actually contain their own cannabinoid receptors. So think about that. The reparative cells in our bodies contain cannabinoid receptors, and it goes back to what you said, Dr. Alex. It could only be created by something bigger and stronger, and somebody that has a bigger and greater plan, which would be God. So that is the brilliance and the durability of this plant from day one. There's a lot more that we could go into and why we don't use the plant more often, but we are just truly grateful. I'm grateful to be here to meet you guys, to have the opportunity. I know you've helped and served so many patients over the years, and you continue to do that. And that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. We're on a mission to help people that are struggling with addiction, that can't sleep, that don't have lives anymore because of chronic pain or because of these conditions that you're mentioning from emotional instability. We want to help these people, and we'll do whatever we can to continue to bring that forward.
Tim, last words.
Well, it's a thank you to Justin, and I appreciate you guys for having such a phenomenal product that's going to help so many people. And thank you, Justin. He also, Alex, he sent me from my office. He gave me a bunch of ketchup packet sized CBD things, and everybody I treated, I gave them samples who asked to try it. And we're going to continue to do that in the future. I hope anyway. Right, Justin? And
Right.
So it's the easiest thing in the world. They go home and I'll say, hey, look, this is in kinesiology. We can test out, say, this is what's causing that. Put it there. And when they put it there, they're getting fantastic results. So just a thank you, Justin.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I said I wasn't going to say anything else. I'm sorry. But yeah, Justin sent me some of those little ketchup size samples. Here's the deal. Every person I've given one of those has said, where do I order it? Everyone.
Pretty cool.
No
Justin, that's
exception.
smart stuff. When you have a product as good as you guys have, it sells itself.
Yeah,
All right. Justin, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about the journey we're starting together, and I believe we're going to help so many people. And I agree with Tim. I was offended at first, but you have way outdone me. Now, not that takes a whole lot, but you have. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, and get some of this and get rid of your pain. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Justin, thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura.
Appreciate you, dear. Bye, guys.